So it's been several months since I have posted a video about the camper. Basically, I got frustrated with it really bad. Had several issues come up. I got around them, but they still made me pretty frustrated, not knowing what I was doing and not knowing how to fix it. We did that. If you watch the video to the end, you'll see that I had a pretty disappointing time getting the motor out, although I did get it out. I just had some setbacks in the way. So this video is not very long, maybe 10 minutes, but I cut a lot of the stuff out that was basically irrelevant, and it's still a 10-minute video, and it just kind of shows how long it took me to get the thing out and what I had to go through to get it out, and how much more difficult it's going to be for me to get it back in. But right now it's at the mechanic shop being rebuilt. Talked to him today, and he's going to give me a list of parts that I need to buy to get it back to where it basically stock or a little better, and we'll do that and put it back in and roll with it. Alright, so it's getting dark in here, but I've got the light on so you can kind of see my contraption I've built. My plan is to hoist it up out of there, slide a piece of plywood up under there, put it on a furniture dolly, roll it out here, then roll it into the back of my truck right out the door. So to do that, I'm getting pretty close to being able to lift it, but I've got a couple bolts and some chains. Got an eye bolt and the engine lift strap that comes with the motors over there. So I've got tension on it right now, and it's just a matter of removing some of these bolts from the transmission. And there's a bolt from the final drive and the front bracket up there. We'll try to get some video of that, and hopefully she'll lift right out. So the first bolt I removed came out of this hole right here. So there's another bolt right here. I do have the jack stand under the final drive down there. I don't know what's going to happen. This is the cross member on the front of the coach, and those two holes right there have bolts that go to the engine mount, and according to the document, we should be taking those bolts out right now. So that's what we're gonna do. That's out. Now there's nothing holding that, and so I should be able to lift it up a little bit. So the next step is to take some tension off of it, and let's see what happens. So it's been quite a while since I've really worked in the camper. I kind of got to a point and got frustrated because I forgot to take off a part that's causing me great troubles right now. There was 3 bolts on the torque converter and the flex plate, which I did not take off early in the process, and I really didn't know what to do. The motor wasn't disconnecting from the transmission, so I called a friend. He was like, hey, there's 3 bolts on the flex plate that you got to take off. So lo and behold, I found 2 of them. Well, I found all 3 of them, but I had a hard time getting to the 3rd one. So I got aggravated, and I just kind of chilled out on this for a while and hadn't done anything with it. And I came back this week, and I've said, you know what, it's time to get this motor out. Let's figure out how to do it, even if it means trying to get the motor and the transmission back together. So here we are. So I'm going to take you a quick tour on the bolt that is giving me a problem right now. Alright, so down there is the separation between the motor and transmission, and there's a bolt right there that I couldn't get to unless I made a special tool. And that special tool is the 9/16 ratchet bit, cut in half and welded onto a piece of sheet steel. And here it is right here. Oh. So as luck would have it, the tool that I made for this is right there that I dropped down in there, and now I can't get to it. So I've got to figure out how to get to that. So we'll be right back. Okay, so I got the tool out. All it is a piece of sheet steel, probably about 14 gauge, with a socket that I have cut and welded onto it. And that reaches in there and turns the bolt. So let's... Alright, so we just take it. Use it like a regular wrench, except much better customized. So I think the axle is keeping it from moving forward. The axle that runs from the driver's side to the passenger side, from the final drive, is I think that's putting us in a bind, keeping it from moving forward. So I'm just got to lift it. I guess I got to lift it another inch and a half to get it above that axle, and it's pretty high, but we'll see what happens. Alright, so I am back to square one. Not really. I mean, the motor's unmated, but I've got to figure out how to get this thing out of here. It was wanting to turn towards the passenger side and get jammed up under there, so I've got to figure out a way to get it out without it torquing to the right side over here. So I've noticed that one of my mannerisms about whenever I'm trying everything out, every time I get through doing something, I'll say, let's see what happens, and which basically means I have no idea what's about to happen, and something bad's probably about to happen. But anyway, I'm fixing to hook up this chain and start lifting it, and let's see what happens. So we've got a lot of clearance, so now we should be able to lift it. Let's see what happens. Every time I watch this video, I start getting a little anxiety about right now. That sound is not good. That is not good at all. You would think after the first two pops I would learn. So there's something holding the transmission to the motor still. I don't know what it is, and I can see where I've broken the bell housing. So this may be a lost cause all the way around. The issue is that I didn't take the passenger side axle away from the engine, so it's sitting right here. Now I just got to take the two bolts out and lift the engine, and hopefully I can find a transmission to replace this one because it's busted bad. Okay, now you can see that the axle is disconnected from the engine. Now we're going to lift it out, maybe one last time. Okay, so the last A-frame that I built was a little shorter, so I had to lower the motor back into the opening and raise my A-frame up, which I have done. It's up about 5 inches, so that should give me plenty of room now. It held the motor fine. The motor was swinging. So now we're fixing to lift it out to get to where I can actually get it out. Ta-da! She's out. Big time. Pretty excited about getting it on the ramp, but it's about to get fun. Look at it. There it is. I'm glad I got that on video. So now that it's out and it's down, I'm reconsidering how I'm going to get it back up there, because it came down pretty quick, and going back up may be a little bit more difficult. But I'll figure it out. Next thing I'm going to do is pull the transmission out, because I'm sure I'm going to have to order a new one. So the lighting's not very good, but you can see just exactly how much damage I've done. Primarily right there and right there. So I'll figure out what I need to do as far as the transmission goes, but I don't think this one's usable.